third point, what should the role of the federal policy on trade and what should the specific call to action be? You know, our country does need a transportation strategy that takes into account trade strategy, our manufacturing strategy, our urban congestion mitigation strategy, and our energy strategy. Integrating those objectives will necessarily require a freight strategy because freight mobility is a national objective. And it should be reflective in surface transportation policy, regulatory policy, and most important, tax policy. First, surface transportation policy. You know, I do believe that our president is an infrastructure president, and I do commend his investments. Public investment in transportations are important because without it, our investments in transportations are deleveraged because at the end of the day, this really, truly is a network. The DOT should identify these key freight bottlenecks, the trade corridors, the local areas which absorb the greatest brunt of the international trade and commerce, which require mitigation. These truly are federal priorities. They should be supported by strong planning activities by state and local transportation officials that identify projects for funding from all sources. This is about Congress and the administration focusing programs and project funding decisions on these goals and then providing the tools and incentives to achieve them. The public should apply the same kind of return on investment analysis that we do when we commit funds. And public funding should promote more private investment in infrastructure, whether it's TIFIA, bonding, infrastructure financing institution, PPPs. We've got to make the game one that private markets will play in. Other countries have been very successful in this, and we can be too. Finally, a reformed transportation policy should also assist in getting priority projects implemented faster. And as a railroad who builds projects all over the country, we could talk all day about this. I've championed permit reform in the Jobs Council and will continue to do through the next Safety Lou bill. The case is proved already, public policy needs to be changed. Second is tax policy. It flows from surface policy because one of the most important elements of paying for the project is, of course, who pays. User pays through the gas tax has the beauty of assuring that. As Congress and the administration seeks ways to increase funding, we must continue the user pays principles, whether it's a gas tax, a VMT, or direct pricing of the road. Most important, though, with the diminishing federal role, it's critical to leverage the federal dollar. And as I mentioned, programs such as TIFIA, private activity bonds, Build America bonds do this, and they do it quite well. Finally, we must make sure that the tax policy is fair, and the harbor maintenance tax is a great example of this. The third area is regulatory reform. I've already spoken about permit reform, but there's other regulations. Safety, labor, environmental mandates impact all of our abilities to play the largest role possibly in the supply chain. They have a cumulative effect and an unproductive impact where our specific impact of our overall ability to invest. I do support overall reform of how regulations are issued, as well as a look back and reform of existing rules. It's essential to all of our business and central to good government. So in summary, you know, our supply chain is a weapon of mass competitiveness. The question is, will we, through proactive, pro-growth, environmentally responsive policies, react in a positive way, or will we simply miss this opportunity? I want to thank you for your attention, your time, and I hope you do get a chance to come to the supply forum. Thank you very much.